Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Sophie, and this channel is chronicling my journey of living my best life with multiple chronic health conditions. Today I want to share how my week has gone wearing the Dexcom's Stelo. It is a biosensor. They're not calling it a continuous glucose monitor, but it's basically the same thing. It is available without a prescription. It was $99, I believe, and one sensor is supposed to last 15 days. This is my day 8. I put this on last Sunday evening, and just going to talk about why I decided to do it, what I've been learning, what the app is like, and stuff like that. So I've been wanting to get a continuous glucose monitor for a while now. Diabetes does run in my family, so it's something I need to be aware of, and definitely something that my A1C has been more elevated in the past. I believe the highest it's been is like a 5.5, which is right below what's considered pre-diabetes. And every time that happens, I'm like, ooh, you need to cut back on the carbs. And then I cut back on the carbs, and when I was in the hospital last month for the possible TIA mini stroke episode, it was 4.9. And that's sort of where it is when I'm being more cognizant and not eating as many carbs and snacks as I was previously. But I do know that genetically I am predisposed to diabetes, so I want to keep an eye on it. I also know, because I do have a glucometer and I've checked in the past, that my blood sugar can go high. It can be over 200. I had a rather large cookie, one of those really big ones, and it was over 200. So I know there's definitely a range. And I know when I was younger, I had episodes of it being too low. So I know it can be all over the place, and I just thought it would be interesting to see what it does sort of on a daily basis and give me some feedback as to if there are foods that are better than others and how I can sort of keep it more steady, as well as seeing if that was sort of indicative of any of the symptoms I get during the day. Even though my symptoms for the most part are the same every day in terms of like shortness of breath, fatigue, and stuff like that. I just wanted to see if there was any correlation. So I've been wearing it a week, and boy, have I learned lots. Basically, anything I eat, that I eat on a regular basis, so I started the week tracking pretty consistently. Like if I had a thing of pasta, like I would make sure to finish it just because I wanted to be able to say like how many carbs I was eating. So I started the first couple days being rather exact about things, and then just sort of jotted down notes about what it was. The app is not great. The app only gives you a graph, which can be up to 24 hours. Those peaks are from yesterday. All of today has been in the green. And then it's just at the bottom give you like an average, and there is a place where you can put notes with the time and meals as well. I think you can also put exercise, but as you know, there's not much of that going on. So I have been trying to put in all of the things that I eat when I eat it. I was doing sleep and when I wake up, but I don't think I did that last night, and I don't remember what time I went to bed, so didn't get that data. I put in when I nap and just seeing what kind of stuff I get. The second app that you can pair with this is called Dexcom Clarity. The web version I like a lot more. The app version, you sort of have to print the reports to PDF versus the scrolling on the computer. And it gives you more like what your average was for the day. It can go by what the averages are per hour. You can really break it down. That's really informative. I'll be sending that to my dietitian and my primary doctor probably shortly after I make this video, because I do have all of the data I wanted to have before I send it to them. But let's get into some of the data. like I said, I basically cannot eat anything without it spiking my blood sugar, and the new sort of average, what they want you to be below at all times, is 140, and that is different. Before, it was staying under 200, and there were things I could eat and stay below 200, but since now they're saying healthier people are always around 140 and rarely above it, I'm basically always above 140 if I eat something, with very little exception. I guess we'll do the exceptions first because it is a very short list. Eggs, sausage, milk, I had that this morning. I stayed under 140. Cauliflower rice, corn, black beans, shredded cheese. With salsa, I believe I had salsa at that time. I was under 140. And yeah, I think that's it. That's been the only things I've eaten that I was under 140 for, and everything else, the lowest has been like in the 170s. So that would be that same cauliflower rice dish, but just in a high protein wrap. So even though you're only looking at like 30 grams of net carbs, I guess because it's 70 grams of total carbs, my body sort of, that's too much. Obviously pastas, the steak-um sandwich with cheese, apples, just everything, like beef jerky, everything. I mean, it's amazing. I wish the app went back further than 24 hours, but literally every time I eat, my blood sugar spikes. And my dietitian, for some odd reason, even though I told her that eating multiple times a day causes me to be more fatigued, and not eating multiple times a day works best for me, she is like convinced I need to eat either multiple meals, there's a snack throughout the day, and I'm hoping that this data can sort of get her off of that, because that's not going to work for me. Because every time I eat, my blood sugar spikes, and it doesn't correlate one for one with needing a nap, but there are definitely times when my blood sugar is high and I'm sleepy, which would make sense. I have had some lows. They're not easy to see on the original app. You have to go into the secondary app to really see what the numbers are. This will say below 70 or above 250. And so far the range has been 53 to 312. That was not in like a 24-hour period. The 53 was overnight, and the 312, I want to say, was after, it might have been after pineapple, actually. Was either pineapple or a lasagna TV dinner, one or the other. But it's just been interesting sort of learning that even things you wouldn't expect to spike my blood sugar spikes my blood sugar. But it makes sense because I've always felt better in a ketogenic diet or when I'm eating really low carb. And that's probably a big part of it, is my blood sugar stable. It's not going all over the place. I do have the appointment with the dietitian tomorrow. I'll be sending her the information this evening. I'm recording this on Sunday. I'm probably putting this up on Monday. So I will try to update you guys as to any feedback she has, and then the next video I'll also try to have the web version of the Dexcom Clarity app to show you sort of what it looks like and what kind of information you can get. It's really nice. I like it. I think it's going to give a lot of good feedback. So I do have about another week of this sensor, and we do get 2 sensors for the $99. I don't know whether I will put the next sensor on immediately afterwards. I'll have to see how this next week goes. This past week I was really focusing on kind of having a good idea of what like the macronutrient breakdown of all of my food was, and wasn't eating how I prefer to eat. I was eating multiple times per day like the dietitian wants, versus basically just eating in the evening like I normally do. So this coming week I do want to go back to eating more like I normally do, because obviously spiking the blood sugar multiple times a day isn't good. I do have a lot of different meal options right now. Oh, the one thing I just ate, which is what I was waiting to film the video on, is she suggested like edamame pasta. It's super expensive. I'm not a fan of the texture, so I probably won't be buying it again. But it also did not spike my blood sugar. I did servings, so one serving of edamame pasta is 20 grams of carbs, 11 of which are fiber, and my blood sugar has not spiked. So that's good. I just cannot tolerate the texture. I mean, I guess I could tolerate it, but it's $8 for 12 ounces. It's only 4 servings, and it's not all that filling. So, I mean, I guess I could have put more stuff in it, because right now I just have the pasta and the sauce. I could have put tuna, but it's 25 grams of protein on itself, so I didn't think I would need more protein in it. Something to think about for the future if I ever get it again, if I decide I can tolerate the texture and everything. But that's really all I've been able to eat that has not spiked my blood sugar. But yeah, I just think these are interesting, especially if you either know you have a predisposition to diabetes, or you're just curious if your symptoms are lining up with your blood sugar or whatnot. I'm really glad there's finally a over-the-counter, for lack of a better word, option for people who want to see what their blood sugar does during the day. It is only testing every 5-15 minutes. It really isn't doing it as often as someone with diabetes would need it tested. It also doesn't alarm. It would send a notification to your phone if you get high, but it doesn't notify you if you're low. It says right on there not to use it if you get low blood sugar, because there's no notification. So it's definitely not for a clinical population. It's more for people wanting to be more healthy or people with prediabetes. That's sort of who the market is for. But I'm learning a lot, and I can't wait to see what my primary doctor and dietitian have to say. I will update you guys next week or later on in the week, depending on how many hours I'm putting in at work and how that goes. But yeah, I think this is just another interesting way to sort of track my health and just try to take control of things I can control, and that is my diet. So this week all I have is a cauliflower sort of mixture. I don't have the wraps. I have my edamame pasta. I have 3 more servings of that left. And then I have a shredded chicken, which I will try eating alone without a carb and see what happens, and then I will put it on my high fiber bread and see what happens there, already knowing that the bread spikes my blood sugar. So I want to see if the chicken, because it does have Ritz crackers, it has stuffing, cream of chicken soup, so it does have carbs in it, and I want to see if that spikes it before I add it to the bread. But that will be what I'm experimenting with this week. That was my medication alarm. So perfect timing, as I'm going to end this here. And sorry it was a little longer, but it's just been an interesting week experimenting. I hope you guys are having a good day whenever it is you are seeing this, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.